What's going on, everybody? Victor here with a brand new video. And with this video, I want to talk about one of the most highly anticipated fights on UFC 300, which is taking place on April 13th, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, this is the 300th pay-per-view that the UFC is going to be streaming live all around the world for a very high price. So, which is why a lot of people usually tend to bootleg nowadays. But it is what it is, because one of the fights I really want to talk about the most, because each and every single fight on this card is absolutely stacked. Each and every single fight on this card can be a main event at the Apex or a regular fight night. Each and every single fight on this card is very special, and each and every single fight on this card is going to entertain for not only myself but each and every single one of you guys out there all around the world. So let's talk about the BMF title. Yes, the BMF title is going to be on the line. The current title holder, Justin Gaethje, who won it off of Dustin Poirier last year, is going to defend his title for the very first time. I like how the UFC is rolling the ball with the BMF title, and they're making very interesting matchups. Obviously, the inaugural BMF title fight was between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Nate Diaz is basically the one that made it up, and he was talking about making, who's the baddest mother effer, and we need a belt to be able to prove who the baddest mother effer is. So the UFC created one. He ended up losing to Jorge Masvidal. Then Jorge Masvidal basically retired, so the belt was vacant. Then they ended up having just Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier happen in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Dustin Gaethje ended up flatlining Dustin Poirier with a very beautiful roundhouse kick. And now we got Justin Gaethje defending his title against Max Holloway. This is going to be Max Holloway's return to the lightweight division. The last time we saw Max Holloway fight the lightweight division, it was for the interim UFC lightweight championship of the world against Dustin Poirier. And that fight did not go well for him. He ended up losing that fight by unanimous decision. He took a lot of damage in that fight, and he literally said it recently that he was not truly prepared to go up the lightweight. Anyone can get big and fight, and that's just the absolute truth. It's really easy to get big, it's easy to gain weight, and it's easy to fight in a higher weight class than what you're usually up to. So obviously he's taking this fight extremely serious, and he's gaining weight the right way. He's not only just gaining weight, he's also gaining muscle at the same time, because he's preparing to fight one of the greatest knockout artist that we've ever seen in mixed martial arts history. Justin Gaethje has some of the most brutal power that I've ever seen in my whole entire life, and he reminds me of a lighter version of Rumble Johnson. Rumble Johnson, may God bless his soul, passed away obviously a couple years ago. One of the greatest knockout artists in all of mixed martial arts history. When he was in welterweight, when he was in light heavyweight, guy was knocking out people left and right. He just had that gifted power in both of his hands, the left hand and the right hand. And Justin Gaethje is another one as well. Justin Gaethje can be able to knock you out with the right hand, with the left hand. He can knock you out with a roundhouse kick like he did with Dustin Poirier. And Max, if we all know something about Max Holloway, is that he's got a legendary chin on him. He can take a punch. You can literally throw everything, including the kitchen table, at him, and he's still not going to go down. He's still not going to go to sleep. He's got an iron chin on him. The only thing that can be able to crack his chin will probably be another substance that's harder, a diamond or whatever. And I believe Justin Gaethje has that type of power to be able to put Max Holloway to sleep. But if Max Holloway is really taking this weight gain seriously, then I believe that his power itself is going to transfer over to the 155-pound division. Obviously, when we talk about the power, we got to go with Justin Gaethje on that one. When we go with the technique, we got to go with Max Holloway. I believe that Max Holloway is one of the best strikers in the UFC. He's one of the best boxers in the UFC as well. And when he's in a flow state like he was against Calvin Kattar, when he completely dismantled him for 5 rounds, live on ABC for the whole entire world to see, Calvin Kattar never even won a single second of that fight. Max Holloway is literally looking at the commentary booth, talking to those guys while he was dodging punches from Calvin Kattar at the same exact time. If we can see that flow state of Max Holloway transfer over to this fight, in this BMF title fight, then it's going to be a very interesting fight, because when Max Holloway is on, he is on. He's got the striking, he's got the wrestling, and so does Justin Gaethje as well. He was a former All-American collegiate wrestler, and he doesn't like to show it. The only time I've ever seen Justin Gaethje get a takedown was against Rafael Ziev, in that fight in London that they had, which was an absolute barn burner. And he got that takedown with the last couple seconds of the fight. You know what I mean? Just because he wanted to prove a point that he is a wrestler and he still can take people down, even though he doesn't like to utilize it whatsoever. Is he going to utilize it against Max Holloway? I don't think so, because I don't think any of these individuals are going to take this fight to the ground. I think it's going to be a kickboxing affair the whole entire time. And it just depends on who wants it more at the end of the day. So if we take the wrestling out of the equation, we're also going to take the jiu-jitsu out of the equation as well, because Justin Gaethje's jiu-jitsu is pretty much, how do I say it? It's pretty much non-existent. He barely uses jiu-jitsu whatsoever. He doesn't use it for offense. He doesn't use it for defense. Max Holloway does have a pretty well-rounded jiu-jitsu background. He does know how to grapple. He does know how to wrestle. He was able to use it in a couple of his fights in the past. So at the end of the day, this is going to be a great fight. And giving the octagon IQ, the fighter IQ, I'd have to give that to Max Holloway. But Gaethje has evolved since he came into the UFC. When he came in, he almost got knocked out against Michael Johnson. He got knocked out against Eddie Alvarez. He also got knocked out against Dustin Poirier. And, things were looking pretty bleak for him in the very beginning. But he started coming back. He ended up getting on a nice fight. I believe it was like a 3 or 4 fight win streak, maybe even 5 fight win streak. He ended up fighting for the title against Khabib Nurmagomedov. He ended up losing. Ended up fighting for the title again against Charles Oliveira. Ended up losing that. So obviously, Gaethje said he wants one more ride for the title, for the undisputed lightweight title of the world. If he can't get it, then he's retiring. So you're going to see a very dangerous Justin Gaethje. You're going to see a very dangerous Max Holloway, because Max Holloway is always game, no matter what. He's always going to give it to you no matter what. He's never going to give you any easy fights. He's never going to get you an easy way out. He's always going to make it hard for you to be able to win a fight. So the keys to victory for Justin Gaethje, obviously, it's going to be to keep the fight on the feet the whole entire time, but use the wrestling. Actually use the wrestling. See how good you really are with the wrestling against a caliber fighter as Max Holloway is. Try to take the fight to the ground and try to utilize some ground and pound. You know what I mean? Because we don't anticipate Justin Gaethje getting any type of submission whatsoever. If you don't want to take him down, then obviously blast him with the leg kicks, because we all know Justin Gaethje's good at leg kicks, and we all know that Max Holloway does not check leg kicks whatsoever. During Max Holloway's first fight against Alexander Volkanovski, he got blasted with leg kicks, and he barely checked any of them at all. So for Justin Gaethje, try to use the wrestling, actually use it for once, and also blast him with leg kicks to basically immobilize him, take the movement away, and increase your chances of getting a knockout. If I'm Max Holloway, I'm making it into a dirty fight. I'm fighting in the clinch. I'm getting some knees in there. Use the leg kicks as well, and definitely check the leg kicks. If I'm also Max Holloway, utilize your movement no matter what. You don't want to be a standing target for Justin Gaethje just to tee off on you, because he will put you to sleep. And if I am Max Holloway, then I'm not just only utilizing the movement, not body movement, but also head movement, but I'm keeping Justin Gaethje guessing the whole entire time. I'm moving to the left, I'm moving to the right, I'm feigning, I'm faking takedowns and everything like that, just to keep him guessing no matter what. And use combinations. Don't just throw one punch, a jab, or a cross. Use combinations the whole entire time. Hit him 2 or 3 times, back away, hit him 2 or 3 times again, and back away again, because each and every single time you go into his distance, into his range of sight, there's always the possibility of getting knocked out. So those are just my key to victories for both the fighters. It's going to be a very great match. I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to go with Justin Gaethje just because of Max Holloway's last performance at lightweight, and Justin Gaethje is a harder hitter than Dustin Poirier, and Max Holloway cannot afford to be hit that many times like he was hit against Dustin Poirier, against Justin Gaethje with his upcoming fight at UFC 300, or else it's going to be a very, very long night for him. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. Take it easy. Stay blessed, guys, and we'll see each other later. Peace.